world today, we rely more on finite resources than the renewable ones. What are your opinions on the heavy use of these across the continents?
Well, it's become a big issue in China. China has one of the largest populations in the world, and because of that, their energy use is much higher than other countries. But yeah, definitely just is a worldwide problem. More and more countries are just relying only on these non-renewable energy sources instead of trying to find renewable solutions.
Like in the United States, we rely so heavily on coal, using coal to produce energy, and it would be a lot safer and healthier for the population to go to renewable sources like solar or wind. You see in China where they use so much coal.
You can see the smog that's produced in the communities and in the environment, where the people are having an extreme effect on their health. But yeah, what you did say, solar and nuclear energy are definitely the future of energy sources.
Especially since the cost of these energy sources, due to increased technology, have decreased a lot over time. In the past, it hasn't been really a viable option because of the cost issues. But now the technology is getting more and more advanced. The cost of these renewable energy sources like solar and nuclear are definitely going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that's once they hit the right price, they'll explode. Right now, coal is still very cheap, but once these most non-renewable energy sources are really expensive to start up, as technology continues, and we've seen these technologies get cheaper and cheaper. Eventually, they will take over.
And also, not even the fact that coal is really cheap. It's also the fact that coal just produces so much energy per unit.
Yes,
and
yeah.
But since nuclear has the same amount, and if not more, the fission of nuclear can produce more energy per unit.
More output.
Yeah.
And then we see a lot of these renewable resources have one major flaw. In nuclear, it's the society's view of these huge nuclear power plants. In solar, the sun's not shining for 24 hours. In wind, you can never predict where the wind blows, and that's one thing that keeps coal popular.
But also, there's also some disadvantages of coal and other fossil fuels, like obviously the carbon emissions that are released into the atmosphere, and the just the increase of temperatures and extremes in the climate, just because of our extreme use of these fossil fuels.
Not to mention the just general pollution of our atmosphere.
The toxic substances. Well, there are ways to make coal better, such as coal and other non-renewable resources like natural gas better and more efficient, like cogeneration, where you're using the excess heat that usually is completely wasted to boil even more water, create more steam and just extra energy, and it's just making the process so much more efficient.
And another thing to think about is that fossil fuel resources, they're not infinite. They're a finite source of energy. Scientists actually estimate that our fossil fuel reserves will run out by 2088. So that's within our lifetime. So obviously, regardless of whether fossil fuels are good or bad, we need to find an alternative because we're going to run out and we need energy in our world today. So there are many other alternatives that we need to start turning to in terms of research and development to make it cheaper and more practical for people in America and around the world.
And while we can reduce the amount of coal we do, we can reduce the amount of energy we are using every day by insulating our homes and that kind of stuff. But in reality, we are eventually going to run out of these fossil fuels, and it will be a very big problem if we do not ever switch to these renewable resources that are just so readily available to us currently.
Additionally, all these new renewable energy industries will create a lot of jobs for people in the countries where we implement them in. So that's another positive of it.
Yeah. I think in the future, as we see the need for alternatives to fossil fuels grow, as our fossil fuel supply gets smaller and smaller, which become the growth will happen a lot faster.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today on this TED Talk.
Thank you.